In fact, a witness called Lillian, who recorded a video of the incident, told the investigation she had 2 to 3 gunshots from the direction of the Kenya Power offices.
Mama, wanalipua mtu mama. Nyamaza. Nyamaza.
She rushed and peeped through the shop ventilation and saw a man lying on the ground, facing upwards with his hands spread and empty.
Maskari saba. Mtu mmoja.
She recorded the scene on her phone and later shared the video with IPOA investigators. She further stated that shortly after, a vehicle with registration number KCD 660U arrived at high speed and parked near the body, after which a tall man in a white t-shirt and red Marvin alighted and shot Victor several times before touching the body, ostensibly to confirm he was dead. 2 other men armed with long guns were also firing in the air to disperse people as they collected bullet casings, while a Somali man was seen making phone calls.
Mama punge tumefanya vizuri kufunga watoto jamani. Gari nimekuwa imepaka hapo, hiyo Prado, alafu ingine imekuja sahi. Ndio hiyo Prado inaenda. Alafu kuna yenye imekuja sahi. Wacha ni zoom KCD 660U. 1 2 maskari 6. Wawili wanakaa horia. Sijui maskari wamevaa civilian tu.
The witness went ahead to say that she also saw a police vehicle arrive, from which a man in a red jacket and black trouser alighted and went where the body was, touching it. And another short man in a blue Marvin and black trousers was also seen shooting at the victim. She said she saw about 6 people in total, with 2 directly shooting the victim and others firing in the air before police eventually arrived, collected the body and left in a green police Land Cruiser.
AK-47 mbili, pistols, AK-47 3.
Na watu walikuwa wamemaliza kufunga kule.
Watu walikuwa wamemaliza kufunga. Mimi vile nimesikia tu risasi hivi kuja napata watu wanatoka mbio.
Na hapo ndio
mama hawa inakaa wametumwa kuua. Juu wanaokota cartridges za bullet. Yeah.
That evidence would later be corroborated by what the firearms examiner Alex Chirchir found. The police officers on site were police officer number 217303 Joseph Nzioka, number 222388 Inspector of Police Paul Serem. There was also number 90903 Corporal Kipkurui Serem. Also at the scene was Police Constable number 82398 Felix Mbuvi, number 82881 Police Constable George Mwangi Washira, and also at the scene was number 236352 Administration Police Constable Abdi Jilo and number 228069 Administration Police Constable Stephen Etugu. At the end of the investigations, the ballistic samples taken to the DCI laboratory showed that at least 38 bullets were fired that evening. Joseph Nzioka, and this is the man I told you was the head of the Sub-County Criminal Investigations Office, had fired 2 bullets. Take note of that. Police officer Paul Serem had fired 8 bullets. Corporal Kipkurui Serem had discharged 3 bullets. Felix Mbuvi, 11 bullets. 3 from his pistol and an extra 8 from George Washira's AK-47 rifle. Police Constable George Mwangi Washira himself had fired 5 rounds. And Administration Police Constable Abdi Jilo had fired 3 bullets as Stephen Etugu discharged 8 rounds. The only question would be what really necessitated such a barrage of violence. So many bullets being fired at one man.
My son had hardly finished a week here from Mombasa for his leave with a newly wed woman. Do you go for a robbery with your wife? And you have done a robbery around that place. Do you go and sit there and drink alcohol? If you are in your senses and you are trained security man and you carry your wife and go sit in the same place you did a robbery with your wife, it is not possible. It doesn't make sense. Even a child who was just stolen a pencil from somebody's bag would want to run away from that bag.
Now, by asking you to remember that Joseph Nzioka, the DCIO, fired 2 bullets, is because despite his own admission, none of the evidence on the ground linked him to any shooting. And this is very typical of senior police officers who are ready to give instructions to junior police officers but have a way of covering their own tracks. If this case would have gone to full trial, there was no way, even in the IPOA report, that the investigators could link the head of the Criminal Investigations Department to the shooting of Victor Lubakaya, because no casing, no bullet, and no any form of evidence linked him to the killing. But the remaining 6 police officers, despite the fact that he's the one who led the operation and gave the other police officers the instructions on what they were dealing with and how to respond. So, what do you call a death that one institution sees as murder and another treats as lawful force? Whichever interpretation one favors, one fact survives. The IPOA investigations shattered the simplicity of the original police story. After it, no serious telling of Victor Lubakaya's death can rest comfortably on the word shootout alone. That word has been too wounded by evidence. In short, we are saying that evidence shows there was no shootout.
In fact, in other matters, they mentioned that he was armed with a pistol, which was a toy. And in the same place, they say they exchanged. With my ignorance in security matters, can a toy pistol exchange with live guns? Because they exchanged using a toy pistol. Does it make any sense? That he had a toy pistol and they really exchanged, which means he was shooting, they were shooting. A toy pistol, which they was in their position. Secondly, they took his phone and said he had exchanged calls and messages with other people. Thugs. Why did they disappear with that phone? It was supposed to be produced in court with evidence with the people he communicated with. Was it not? Why did this IO hide my son's phone if it has that evidence?